it's Micah. Welcome to our Thursday reaction series where we are going through all of the recent Hot 100 number one hits. How this works is if we have a new Hot 100 number one, I react to that. And if we don't, I dig back into 2023 and see what's the most recent number one that I haven't reacted to. This week we do have a new number one single on the Hot 100, and it is Carnival by, I'll just call him Kanye West. Oh, it's Amir. Hi, Amir. Along with Ty Dolla $ign, Rich the Kid, and Playboi Carti, I think it is. Like it's there's four of them on it, and I didn't think I was going to remember all four of their names to rattle them off like that. But even without notes, I managed to pull it off. I think I'm going to make a little bit of a departure this time. I'm not actually going to play the video, and I have personal reasons for doing that. I'm not going to get into all of that, but I'm just not interested in actually pulling up the audio for this, and it's just something I feel more comfortable not doing, and it has nothing to do with the actual lyrical content of the song. Although there is a reference to Columbine in there, which I think is something that maybe could be put to the side or off limits for hip-hop lyrics for just for the sake of propriety, but that was their choice on the song. But I did listen to the record, and I did want to just provide just a straightforward, I listened to it and this is what I thought about it reaction. And so I definitely understand why it's been inching up the charts. I was a little surprised that it went to number one this week. Usually songs off of hot new album releases will peak early in the cycle rather than inching up week after week like this one did. So I'm a little surprised, but I do understand. No question, regardless of what you think about anything else in his life or in his creative output. As a producer, he has an ear for great sounding records. And so I think that's the production is really the star here. Reasonably close second place to the rap verses and the different styles of the four rappers who are featured on the song. I get a gothic empty castle kind of vibe. Most of the background instrumentation appears to be more atmospheric than anything else. Just some atmospheric music that sounds very goth and a beat, and it's all very heavy-handed and dramatic sounding in the background, and there's a bit of a juxtaposition there between the serious sounding background, ominous almost sounding background music. From a lyrical standpoint, it's pretty throwaway. I mean, you can there are some clever turns of phrases here and there that from each of the four rappers that are featured on the record. One thing that I read somewhere, and I think sounds about right for this, is that Kanye was leveraging the star power of the younger rappers on here. I wouldn't necessarily call it street cred, but it is currency in terms of artists that are newer to the scene, and by pulling different rappers from different age groups, more established, less established, he can, and plus his own fans, he can get like a broad swath of the hip-hop audience all on the same page at the same time with this record, and that might be why it went number one. I found lyrically the song to be almost completely void of any real meaning. It looks like the first verse, which I'm gonna guess is Rich the Kid. I'm not like I'm not familiar with Rich the Kid, but it did seem from like by process of elimination. But regardless, whoever was on there first kind of got to set the tone for what the chorus was going to be, which is basically sexual bragging. He's bragging on, it's basically by virtue of the fact that you're talking about the sex that you're having, it turns into bragging, even if it isn't overtly so. So it's basically his verse, which gets parlayed into a very sexualized chorus, and although the other two rappers besides Kanye kind of dip into similar themes, it really seems like they more just went with the chorus for the first set of lyrics, and the chorus doesn't have any direct correspondence to what anyone else is doing. The verses all seem very segmented and apart from each other. Although on the song credits, all of the lyrics are all of the songwriting is credited to Ye and Ty Dolla $ign. So I'm not sure if that meant that one or the other of them wrote for the other two, which doesn't sound consistent to me with how people write their own lyrics, unless they have some sort of prominent ghostwriter. And even so, and the whole point of ghostwriting, of course, is that you don't just give away that you didn't write the lyrics. At any rate, the verses seem disconnected from each other, and Ye's verse is very Ye-like in that it's off-centered, it's unexpected. He uses weird cadences. At the end of his verse, he even trails off. It's almost like he can't be bothered to do anything normal or do anything in a conventional way, and he's pretty much always celebrated the fact that he's going to break any rule that you make for him, and so he follows no rules. His verse has nothing to do with the other verses, and is weird bragging, which relates to some of the stuff that has gone on over the past couple of years, which is the reason why I'm not actually featuring the material on this video, if you were wondering. So I just found his verse to be just as unhinged as a lot of the stuff that's been happening with him over the past couple of years. The other verses were your standard issue sexual and materialistic bragging. A few clever turns of phrase here and there, but ultimately this isn't a song that's going to go down for the ages. This is a song that was cleverly marketed, like I said, to hit different corners of the hip-hop market. Has a little something for everybody, and you back it up with this gothic sounding beat, and you got yourself a single. It's a pastiche, but not in a way that I want my pastiches to work. So I'm kind of like whatever about the song, but I'm also not the audience for the song. And I'm always, and I admit that I would be less than charitable about it considering the source. No matter how much we try to separate ourselves from the artist or our perception of the artist that we listen to, sometimes that bleeds through, and I'm not going to pretend like I'm giving some sort of objective evaluation of this based on that. I don't see anything special here. I think it'll have its time at the top, and then it'll be done. So it's a bit of a letdown seeing this at number one after a couple of weeks of a truly groundbreaking, paradigm-shifting record for the music industry with Beyonce's Texas Hold'em. But you know what? You can't win them all, and so I do know that the next time we do dip back into 23, which may be as soon as next week, we will be looking at two very controversial country records that hit the top of the charts last year. And I am going to choose to show those songs in their entirety. I think it's important in those cases because the songs that were created made the part of the case themselves. It wasn't so much that the artists are controversial as it was that these particular songs that they put out were the source of the controversy. And I think by showing those records and responding to that, there's some directly, I think there's a little more value there. So it's a tough call about when I choose to air videos and not. Normally, no issue, I'll just play it. But this week I just didn't feel right showing the actual content. But nevertheless, if you like this video, then go ahead and click the like button. And if you feel the urge to subscribe to the channel based on this admittedly lacking reaction video, there's nothing, sorry, wrong side. There's nothing up here for you to react to, for you to see me reacting to, I should say. But check out some of the other videos, then maybe you can make a call. But yeah, I would love to see you subscribe to the channel. And as always, please help me to make music better.